there. Okay, we're in the thick of summer. It is a hot day here in the Pacific Northwest, down here in T-Town. So I'm trying to keep it cool by not turning on any cooking appliances or anything like that. So today is all about chopping, and there's a little backstory here. Back when I was pregnant with my first child, my daughter Toby, usually for my birthday I wanted clothes, but that year I was like, I don't want clothes. I'm getting all prego and getting bigger. Forget it. So they just opened where we lived a Viking Culinary Arts Center. And Viking is a brand of high-end appliances and stoves and all ranges and that kind of stuff. And they actually had a cooking school there. So interesting, because my daughter's almost 22. So this was 22 years ago that I did this, but had no inklings of culinary school. And then 5 years ago I went. So I've always had that interest in food. I just didn't pursue the passion back then. Not the right timing. So never lose your dreams, because you never know what you might be doing down the line. So anyways, my first class I ever took, official kind of cooking class, was a knife skills class. And so it was all about chopping. So there is some chopping involved with this little thing I'm doing, pineapple salsa. I know I did a salsa. If you missed it, Battle of the Salsas, go back and look. It's probably 5 or 6 weeks ago. Anyways, this one, you guys, it's so fresh. It's so different. It's not a salsa like you're just gonna mow through like a saucy chips and salsa type of thing. It's more almost like a pico de gallo, where it's like fresh chopped vegetables and things that are kind of put together. And in this case, it's got pineapple, red and green bell pepper, cilantro, some papaya, lime juice, rice wine vinegar, a little green onion, and then just a little bit of seasoning. But it's so fresh, so good. And on its own, it's delicious. I don't know if you guys have seen plantain chips. They've kind of been like this new thing. I've seen them at Costco. So when things get to Costco, they're popular. But anyways, good with plantain chips, good with tortilla chips, but especially good served over grilled meats, grilled fish, halibut, or grilled salmon. This would be bomb, like so good. My mouth's watering, even thinking about it. So super excited to share this one. Practice your chopping skills and let's get started. Okay, I thought I'd do a little bit of chopping basics with you. So this is the papaya. And when I push on the skin, it's just slightly soft. So I hope that's ripe enough. Green and red bell pepper. I want to show you, for people who are like, how do you cut your pepper? Just doing some basics. I am freshly aware, and I come down here. Oh, that's really far. Hi. I'm freshly aware of some basic skills that people just don't know because you've never cooked before. Like my son, who's in his first apartment, and he's awesome, and he's totally trying things, but there's a lot that he doesn't know because, why would you if you haven't cooked? So you can see at the top of a pepper, see how there's kind of like chunks like this one. If you turn it over, there are 3 main compartments. Some peppers have 4. Let's see if the bell doesn't have that. This one has 3. So I look for kind of this first little chunk when I cut a pepper, and that's my first cut. I just go down it like that. Now I've opened it up and I can see where the seed is. So then I take my knife without hitting the seeds, because then the seeds remain intact, and I go around like this, and I keep going around. And then if there's a little bit left, sometimes I can do it 3. And then look, all together, and have a little garbage bowl. Rachel Ray, she always talks about her garbage bowl, but that's great. And then I cut any of the thicker white parts that are out. I'm cutting toward myself, but very gently, because I have cut a lot. So in the recipe, it calls for dicing your peppers. Don't cut on the waxy, shiny outer side. Always cut on the inside. And if you can, curve your hands. Tip of the knife, usually I try to keep it down, but in this case, I'm going to hold it up a little bit because this is high. But start just making strips that are about the width of what you want your dice to be. So I've gone through it like that. I'm going to turn them this way, kind of line them up, and then go through. I want a larger dice for mine. You could do a much tinier dice if you wanted, but mine are going to be, I wouldn't say it's a large dice. It's probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch roughly, but this is mine. Doesn't need to be perfect, but that's the pepper. I'm going to set these aside and do the rest of those later. And for now, I'll pop these in my bowl. I got a big glass bowl for all my cuttings. And then I want to show you the papaya for those of you guys that have never seen a papaya. With this guy, you're gonna cut right down the middle. There is no one jumbo seed. There is a bunch of seeds. So then with a spoon, and by the way, these guys all on their own with some fresh lime juice are outstanding. With your little garbage bowl, you're just gonna gently kind of run the edge of your spoon. I'm being real gentle because the flesh is super soft, and kind of loosen those seeds and then scoop them right into here and get those guys out. Now you don't want to eat the peel on a papaya. So there's a few different ways you could go about this. You could actually peel it first and then cut through it, but I like to cut it into wedges. I'm gonna do 4 wedges on this guy. And then using my knife, oops, put these guys aside, using my knife and kind of keeping it parallel with my cutting board, I'm gonna carefully and just kind of like gentle pressure, just kind of rocking it back and forth, just slide it along. And I'm taking the back side of the knife right here and kind of angling it like this toward this way. And then it just kind of keeps it really flat and I get the majority of the fruit out. And now this guy goes in my garbage bowl. So with this guy, it's all peeled now, I'll cut him in half and just run my knife lightly through that, giving me some smaller bits for my salsa. So that goes in there. And then for I'll do the rest of these later. I'm just giving you guys the basics right now. For my pineapple, dun, 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 cheater. So you can cheat too. You can buy an entire pineapple, but this was on sale and I was like, why not? So these are already in chunks, but really, again, the thing you're doing with a salsa like this is trying to be consistent. So you saw the size of what I already had going in there. So I'm going for a very similar size with my pineapple. So I will go through this bowl, get those guys cut up. But if you've never cut up a pineapple, there's great videos out there for giving you some great tips on what to do when cutting up a pineapple. But again, this is a lot of knife skills. This is not difficult, but you can do this in the cool of the morning and let this kind of hang out all day and then ready to go for, you know, snack time, lunchtime, dinner time, grilling, whatever. So see you when I get all this chopped up. Magic, all the chopping's done. In all actuality, it probably took me about 5 more minutes to finish the chopping. It was not too bad, but I also chop a lot. So if you're not, just put on some tunes and just practice your chopping skills. I believe in you, you can do it. So I did not use all that pineapple, by the way. What I would recommend doing, it calls for 1 large pineapple, but that can really vary because you got the core, you sometimes have that harder part on the inside. So just kind of give it a mix. And if you want to zoom in real quick to see my kind of ratio of pineapple with the rest of the vegetable and that papaya, there's a lot of pineapple, but I like that ratio. So it's really up to you. This is more of a kind of taste and flavor thing. So to finish it off, I've got some lime juice, and then I also have in here some rice wine vinegar. Again, the recipe for all my recipes are always underneath the videos, so you can have all the details. So that goes in. 3 green onions, whites and greens, so almost down to the bottoms go in. And then it called for 3 tablespoons cilantro. I think that's probably a little bit more, but I like cilantro, so that's gonna go in. The fresh elements calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna do a couple shakes because 1/8 of a teaspoon is pretty scant, it's not a lot. And then some salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just gonna give it some salt, give it some cracked pepper, and then it's time to bring it all together. Let's take these and put them to the side so you can see. And this is one of those things that's gonna be even tastier if you let it hang out for, I'd say, at least an hour. It'll keep for a few days in the fridge, and but I don't know how long you can really make it last because it's just fantastic. And like I said earlier, super good with grilled meats. So I'm gonna give you a little inside scoop. If you're watching this video on Wednesday night, because my videos come out every Wednesday night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you may want to wait a few days to make this because next week's video actually is a partner for this pineapple salsa. Tequila lime grilled chicken. Cannot wait to show you that one. Oh, and they're so good together. That was part of the cooking class, so I decided I was gonna make it a two-parter. But really, this salsa all on its own, it can stand. So I'm gonna let this hang out for about a half hour, and then I'll be right back with you for a little taste test time. Can't wait. You guys, I already had a little taste test off camera just to make sure my seasonings were good. I forget how good this is. I'm telling you, it is like a burst of flavor in your mouth. So, at these fun little plantain chips, I got the local Safeway, but there's ones at Trader Joe's, there's ones at Costco, check your local supermarket, but plantains are like an unsweet banana, and they're just kind of tropical, and I feel like they fit the flavor profile with the pineapple salsa. So here we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Get out. Okay, let me say what's happening here. Aside from some crunch and some sweet, it's like crispy vegetables because they're fresh. It's like with the raw peppers, the herbaceousness from the cilantro, little bit of heat from that cayenne, which you could totally bump up, or do like a minced jalapeno in here if you really like things spicy. And then a little bit of the salt kind of balances it. So don't think sweet like candy. It's just, it holds no, like, what's the word? Store-bought pineapple salsa holds no candle to this. That's what I'm trying to say. This is so fresh and so good. Tastes like, again, summer in the mouth. That's kind of my theme right now. I just want things that feel summery and fresh and light. And I didn't turn on my oven, and I just chopped up some things, and I feel like it's partying in my mouth. So you're gonna wanna make this one, and you're gonna wanna tune in next week for my tequila lime grilled chicken that this is gonna be bomb with. Or if you're not a chicken person, you could totally do fish. I would totally serve this with some grilled salmon. In fact, I think I might tomorrow night for dinner. So, pineapple salsa, give it a whirl. And delight of the bite. Subscribe, share, and tell your friends that I'm here. And again, every Wednesday evening, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, a new video gets posted. So please tune in, subscribe if you have not done so. And I'm on Instagram at Delight of the Bite. I sometimes have other fun posts about food that I do on there, and just would love you to give me a follow and let your friends know about it. So thank you so much for watching. Happy summer.